Guys, welcome to my channel, Science Woman 876. So this channel is specifically going to be looking at science content. However, there are some times that I might look at other content areas, but I specifically specialize in science, so we'll be looking at the Ministry of Education PEP April 2023 curriculum-based test that is for science. It does last 1 hour and 30 minutes, so you are going to have to, manage your time wisely. It is multiple choice, so with multiple choice, the answers can be very tricky. Some of them are very similar, and some are also very silly. So what you can do, you can look over the answers, the multiple choice options once or twice or even 3 times if you must, bearing in mind the timing that you have, as well as you can also use the method of elimination. So there are normally some answers that are normally far-fetched. They're really off. Those are silly answers, as I would call them. So you can eliminate as you go along, so you can narrow down your answers to maybe 1 or 2 options. Then you can make your decision. Alright? So let's get right into it, because I don't want to make this video a very long one. And it can be a long one. So let's go. Let's start. Get your pencils ready. Okay, so number 1, all living and non-living things along with their surroundings is that A, the environment, B, land, C, location, D, home. We can eliminate home because we know that's one of those silly answers. C, location, that's not correct, that's general. B, land, not correct. The correct answer is the environment. 2, which is not a part of conservation. We know that maintaining is a part of conservation. Consuming. If you consume, then you are not really conserving. So that would be the answer for number 2. All right. Read the statement below, then use it to answer item 3. All 3 members of Mr. Park's family work in offices that are close to each other. Each family member, however, chooses to drive their own car to work. Which best explains why the family's choice to drive different cars could be bad for the environment? Alright, so it may increase, and remember, we're looking for the best option here. A, it may increase the need for more fuel-efficient vehicles. That's a lot general, so I don't think that's the right answer. B, traffic congestion on the road. They live close, so that would not be a major concern here. C, chance of family members getting into accidents. They live close together, so that's not best. Alright, not saying that it's incorrect, but it's not best. D, the amount of carbon dioxide released per family, that would be best. Alright, because the major concern here is the emission of carbon dioxide. The diagram below shows how a large mass of land has changed over 20 years. Use the diagram to answer item 4. Alright, so we have the diagram, year 2000. Alright, and we're seeing that bolded area based on the key is land with no ice cover. And the blank box represents land with that ice covers. Alright, so I hope you're comparing both in your head. Just bear that in mind. Alright, so let's go. Number 4. Which is the likely cause for the change that occurred? Alright, so remember I was telling you guys about using the method of elimination. Right here we can definitely eliminate A, changes in global sea levels, right? And we could definitely eliminate B, reduced average rainfall. Alright, so we're then left with C and D. So C says changes in global temperature. That could be the answer, but is that... Let's look at D, more frequent droughts. Alright, so we can definitely say that C is the answer. More frequent droughts is not as, what you'd say, consistent as the option for C. So in my opinion, I would select C as the answer. Use the diagram below to answer item 6. Alright, so that is a diagram of the lung. Alright, so what is the name of the organs labeled X? A, heart, B, kidney, C, lung, D, stomach. The arrow X is pointing to the lung. Alright, 7. This looks like a food chain. Alright, which shows the correct path food travels through the digestive system. We should by now know that the digestive system starts within our mouth. So the first one is mouth. We have that everywhere. So you see where they're trying to trick us there. So it starts with the mouth, and then food is taken to our esophagus, or some would pronounce it esophagus. After the esophagus, it is taken to our stomach, which you know some processes start to happen there. And then it is taken to our small intestine, right? And then it is then taken to our large intestine, where it is going to now be excreted through our anus. So C is the correct answer. Number 8, in which environment is noise pollution likely to occur? In a museum? Absolutely not. In a library? Absolutely not. This is an easy giveaway, guys. C, examination room. Are you preparing yourself to make noise in the pep room? Absolutely not. Football stadium? Yes, because there's going to be celebration. Number 9, which is not. Remember to highlight not, which is not a property of sound. We can flip that and say which is a property of sound. Let's eliminate. Alright, whichever one is left, that will be your answer. Alright, so A, it has a pitch. That is definitely a property of sound, so we would eliminate that. B, it travels in one direction from its source. Let's leave that. C, it can be reflected. It definitely can. Alright, D, it travels in all directions from its source. That is definitely a property. So the answer for number 9 would be B. Alright, so that's a great method to use there in your exam. Alright, number 10. So we're using the information below to answer item 10. The human vocal cords produce sound by vibrating as air from the lungs passes over them. Changing the tightness of the vocal cords will affect certain characteristics of the human voice. Which characteristic of the human voice will be affected by changing the tightness of the vocal cord? So, A, the volume. Is that going to affect? Alright. B, the speed. C, the quality. D, the pitch. The correct answer for number 10 is, drumroll, D is the correct answer. The diagram below shows a pencil in a glass of water. Examine the diagram, then use it to answer item 11. Alright, so we have the diagram there. It's definitely showing the refraction, right? So we have the pencil above the water surface. When you look at it, it looks broken or bended. Alright, so drinking glass, we have the water, we have the pencil below the water surface. Number 11, which is likely the cause, or which is the likely cause of the optical illusion seen in the diagram? Light rays are A, bouncing off the surface of the water. B, bending as they enter the water. C, scattered as they pass through the water. D, being absorbed as they enter the water. The correct answer for 11, of course, I said the word bending earlier, so that I gave away the answer. It is B. 12, which describes a property of light. Is it A, light expands when it gets hot? B, light can travel around corners? No, we know that light travels in a straight line. Good job. C, light bounces off shiny objects. Definitely it does. Let's see D, light can pass through all types of matter. So the correct answer there, of course, is C. Alright. Which is an example of a solid-solid mixture? So both items that are being mixed are solid. Is it A, water and wine? Absolutely not. That's not solid and solid. That's liquid. That's liquid and liquid. All right. B, cornflakes and sugar. Absolutely. So the answer is B. C, syrup and lime juice liquids. D, oats and milk. That is a solid liquid mixture. All right. So we're at number 14, which is true about mixtures. So that's number 14. Is it A, they are formed by a combination of substances? That is correct. Alright, let's look at the other options quickly. B, they cannot be separated. Yes, they can. C, they are always formed using water. Not necessarily so. No. D, the substances in a mixture are always visible. No, they are not. Alright, so let's move on to number 15. Guys, I'm going to stop if you don't subscribe. Alright, so we were to examine the diagram. Alright, so we have I, and 4. Alright, and we're using it to answer number 15. Which diagram does not represent a mixture? Alright. Based on these diagrams, I am not seeing, what you call it now, anything being mixed. That's I, which is the first diagram. So I am thinking that 15, for 15, D would be your answer. Read the statement below, then use it to answer item 16. After Dad was finished mixing the lemonade, he poured it onto a piece of cloth that was stretched over a jug. He did this to remove the seeds and drugs from the lemonade. 16. Which separation technique was used to remove the seeds and drugs from the lemonade? Is it A, decanting, B, sieving, C, filtration, D, evaporation? We know we can eliminate evaporation, right? Because that is one of the silly answers I spoke to you guys about earlier. So the correct answer for 16 is C, guys. Make sure you know the difference between sieving and filtration, alright, because they're very similar. So make sure you research that before you go into your PEP exam next week. Alright, number 17, which is not a state of matter: gas, ice, liquid, solid. The answer is B, ice. 18, which process occurs when a gas changes to a liquid? That is condensation. Alright, evaporation is changing from liquid to gas. Freezing, from liquid to solid. Melting, from solid to liquid. 19, which diagram likely represents an irreversible change? Remember, for an irreversible change, that is a change that cannot be undone, so it is permanent. The correct answer is C. Alright, come on my peppers. 20, which of the following is likely to be a good conductor of heat? A cup made from plastic. We know plastic is not a good conductor of heat. B, wood is not a good conductor of heat. C, rubber, not a good conductor of heat. So it would have been D, metal. Alright. Read the statement below, then use it to answer item 21. A student spilled some juice on the floor and needed a suitable material to clean it up. Which property should the material have? It should be waterproof. No. It should be magnetic. Absolutely not. It should be absorbent, means it soaks up or sucks up the water. So that is the correct answer. 21 is C. Alright, moving along. Below is an example of a label that can be seen on many household goods. Examine the label, then use it to answer items 22 and 23. Warning! Flammable vapor may cause drowsiness and dizziness. Keep away from sparks, open flames, avoid breathing fumes, vapors. And it expires March 26, 2025. 22 says, which hazard symbol is not represented on the label? Alright, so A, corrosive. Are we seeing corrosive there? B, high voltage. Are we seeing high voltage there? I don't see high voltage, so the answer is B. Alright. 23. Which precaution should be followed when storing goods with this label? Avoid storing. 23. For 23, the answer is we should avoid storing in a hot area. All right? And we are avoiding storing it in a hot area because it is flammable. Good? All right. Alright guys, so let's stay tuned for part 2. Let's take a break. See you in part 2. Bye!